My first introduction to Foster City was actually a friend inviting me to an interest meeting. She just said, just come, don't think about it, just come tonight. And so my husband and I did, and we just continued to take those next steps and eventually became support friends. And so we were support friends for several years and had the hopes of being foster parents ourselves one day. And then my cancer actually came back. I was first diagnosed with cancer in 2016. I had a pretty aggressive course of treatment with surgeries and everything, and had the good news of being cancer-free, and so we really thought we were out of the woods. And so when the cancer came back, it blindsided us. I remember my husband and I hitting a moment where we thought we could either sit here living in fear, waiting for the next scan, or we could learn to live again together and with our kids. And so we did that by stepping back into that support friend role. And while we were doing that, the moment shifted for the family that we were supporting, where the little boy in their care needed a different home. And we were reached out to and asked if we could shift from being support friend to foster family for him. Ultimately, it just took a posture of openness and saying, God, this is what we asked for. We asked for a way to continue moving through life, and we want our kids to see that we just have one life to give. And if this is what God was asking us to do with our one and wild life, then what a gift it is to open up our home and welcome a child in. So through Foster City, we were able to get our support friends. We could connect with the advocate at church. It made a big difference, but it still felt hard. We needed a lot of help. And then at the same time, we're getting to meet everybody and they're sharing ways that they can help. And sometimes the way that they're sharing that they could help actually wasn't helpful for our family. But the beauty is my support friends did not give up. They just continued to show up. They'd pop into messages, they'd send requests on my behalf. And it just began to work and the momentum picked up. So about 6 months into this foster care journey, he had a really important court date. And we knew his mom and his dad would be there. And Sean and I both agreed that it would be important for me to be there with mom. So to advocate, to be there to support her as well. And had no understanding how we could make it happen. I dropped a prayer request just within the app. I shared that there was an important court date coming up and asked everybody to be praying. And the support friends didn't just let that prayer sit. They actually saw that as an important need and then started proactively showing up. There was instantly a request for a meal added to our calendar for that day. We had a support friend change her plans, find a car seat, and go and pick up my big kids from school for us. And being there when I got to the courthouse, we were able to show up the way that we wanted to. I wish I could say it was this beautiful moment, but it was a really hard court case. So when I left, I went out to my car and I remember just sobbing, just crying and crying. One, for just the sadness of what was happening. And the other part was, it's because it was the first time I didn't feel like a burden when I asked people for help. When our support friends met us that beautifully in those moments, it wasn't just that moment. They continued to show up. They continued to pray, because as intense as that moment was, the foster care journey continued. Because of their yes to our family and their commitment to us, we were able to say yes again. I can remember getting asked by the social worker to say yes to another child. It actually was the biological sibling of the little boy that we'd been fostering for a long time. The gift to be able to offer a home to keep siblings together is only possible because our support friends were carrying us in such a profound and substantial way. All I can think is our story is not special because everybody has a reason to say no, to not enter into the heartbreak, the beauty, and the brokenness of foster care. And yet, because of God, His strength is what we get to rely on, all of us can say yes in one way or another.
When you step into foster care, it's a spiritual battle. I strongly believe that when, as Christians, we're stepping into that role to stand in the gap for these vulnerable children, that you're coming up against spiritual warfare. And I knew how important that is to be able to stand there, not just with a meal, but also in prayer, and to say, hey, I'm going to also hold that shield above you.
You know that the time that would have been spent meal planning or preparing or grocery shopping is time that you're buying back for your foster family to spend with their biological children, to bond with their foster kids, and to even just take a deep breath and rest. And so as a support friend, I think it's been such a joy in those moments to step in and say, my goal is to spur you on so you can do this just a little bit longer.
I find myself thinking, I'm so glad we were bold and courageous, because this life could never be so beautiful. In all the pain and all the highs and the lows and the heartbreaks, life would be easier if we had said no. But we would have missed out on a lot of incredible miracles along the way.